Happy Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. There's a McDonald's bag sitting straight up in the ditch there. Just throw it in the ditch, baby. It's somebody else's problem. That's why I pay taxes. Somebody else needs to pick that up. Why should I do my part? Anyway, I just saw somebody drive through we got school crossings, and you've got 20 mile an hour, you know, when kids are out, basically right now. 20 miles an hour. Somebody comes flying by going over 30. Usually there's a police officer sitting there, but not today. But they come flying through going 30 miles an hour, and I'm like, dang, slow down, there's kids. They might come through the crosswalk. And then the license plate it said back the blue on the license plate, and I thought, if you got pulled over, would you back the blue then? Kind of funny. All right, so today, speaking of blue, Twitter. Today, the big news, Ron DeSantis. I gotta say it. Ron DeSanctimonious. I don't know, it's not that I don't like Trump or don't like DeSantis or like either one. It's just kind of funny. Trump has a way of creating the narrative. Ron DeSanctimonious. He's just I don't know, he's the freaking Barnum, P.T. Barnum of his day. So media, knows how to work the media. So today on Twitter, I don't know what time, it's going to be Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, having a Twitter Spaces. Now, Twitter Spaces is, it's like a town hall almost. Anybody can listen on Twitter if you've got a Twitter account. And you can raise your hand, virtually, so that you can speak in this forum. But you have to be given permission to speak. Now, anybody can listen, but, a lot of times, a lot of people can come up and speak, and you can be muted if you act like a fool, because someone else is running the forum. But today, the forum's going to be Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis, and supposedly, Ron DeSantis is going to be announcing that he's running for president in 2024 on the Republican ticket. A lot of pump, a lot of hype. What would be funny, all this hype, he got this big thing, he's going to announce on Twitter Spaces, and then he announces his support for Donald Trump. I mean, talk about, that would be a show, wouldn't it? I don't think that's going to happen. But it would be kind of funny. I would laugh, because everybody would be getting trolled again. But a lot of the mainstream media is, this is the first time that's ever been done, and there's no video associated with it. It's just audio, so you can't really see that initial reaction, and see, it upsets them because they can't control the narrative. They can't, use whatever pictures they want and paint a scene how they want to. No, this is just factual information direct from the horse's mouth. And they don't like that. And once again, it just reinforces that Twitter is kind of becoming that news of the people. I don't know if you want to say that. I don't want to go too far, because I don't know if I trust Elon Musk's his complete agenda anyway, and where he's coming from. However, I got to judge him by his actions. I got to look at what he does. And Twitter has become more open and more voices and allowed more free speech. And that's hopefully what continues, to where you can say what you want. And, it's up for people to decide. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to follow people. You can mute people. But it gives people a place where they can, it's just a left, right, middle, whatever, a free speech platform. And that's necessary. And I like that DeSantis is using this as his platform to announce his candidacy for president. I think that's a good thing, because that puts the focus on this platform, and hopefully there's more platforms. It's not just Twitter, because the mainstream news has failed. They've completely failed. These so-called right-wing, I don't even want to say that, so-called conservative channels like Fox, they're not. They're faux. Completely staged, completely a fraud, just controlled opposition. That's all they are. And it's important to, my background's in literature, and there's a lot of interpretation to all kinds of books. Everybody's got their opinion. What's this mean? What's that mean? And you analyze the crap out of it. And pretty soon you're just reading what people, the analysis that people have done. Like, oh, let's read this paper, his analysis of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald and what it means, you know, and how it ties into America. And the, you know, anyway. So you read that person, and then you're like, oh yeah. And so pretty soon you're just reading papers of people who are talking about the book. And I always said, go to the source. It's like the Bible. Quit taking people at their word and what they preach. Go to the source. Do the research yourself. And that's why I like Twitter. It's like you're going right to the source. You're going to hear directly from the person who is running. And he's got a forum to be, or he can say whatever he wants. I like that. I like Twitter Spaces and what it does. You know, I'm not shilling Twitter Spaces. It's just like, that's the one place right now where you can get information directly from people and interact with them. Robert F. Kennedy, he broadcast his announcement a couple of weeks ago on Twitter Spaces, along with video and all that. But, you know, it started something, and I think that it's very important to have that. All right, I'm going to quit hounding on that. But yeah, today, Ron DeSanctimonious, going to be running for president. Can't help it. It's just funny. It's all a show anyway. It's all a show. And you can't get too wrapped up in it. You know, what I was looking at today, I saw, I think it was Casey DeSantis, Ron DeSantis' wife, released a video or called out a video, whatever, with Ron DeSantis last night. She posted it, retweeted it, whatever. And it showed him, you know, and all the dramatic music, kind of like Trump and the coming out of the darkness and the shadow of Trump in the Republican primary, I think it was in 2016. You know, just this whole larger than life, superheroic type crap. It's like, don't put your faith in a man. I mean, if you're gonna put your faith in somebody, put your faith in yourself. If you're gonna put it in a man, trust yourself. But it's just kind of, I don't know, it's all staged theater anyway. And hey, the guy's doing good things in Florida. You know, I do like what he's doing. But ultimately, it's just you're coming into a cesspool, a swamp that never got drained. You can give it lip service, but if you don't do anything about it, it's going to continue. And so the same things we knew about in 2016, 2017, 2018, we're still talking about them today. You know, the laptop from hell. We're talking about all these corrupt agencies that have colluded to create a fake narrative. I mean, we knew all this then. And nothing has been done about it. Nothing's been done. So what impact, what difference can you really make if you become president? Unless you're willing to just torch the whole thing. I mean, just come in and, you know, just eliminate agencies, executive order everything. And it may or may not be constitutional, and they may just start cutting, destroying. But then, you know, does it get tyrannical at some point? So again, you don't want to put your faith in a man. Put your faith in yourself. Look at the things you do on a daily basis, the people you interact with, the money that you use, the things that you do today, and disconnect from all that garbage. Because again, I said yesterday, $30 trillion, you're not getting out of this mess. There is no way to pay it off. Now, you could, I guess, you could say, like they've floated before, the $1 trillion platinum coin. You know, create about 100 of them, so you got $100 trillion, highly inflationary, but pay back the Chinese, pay back all the pension funds with the platinum coin for their treasuries that they're invested in, and just say, F it, I'm done. Pay back the Federal Reserve, you know, just be done with it, and just essentially jubilee the whole thing and go to zero and start all over. And then base it on real assets that you've got, you know, the gold in the ground, the oil in the ground, and all those things that we've got, the resources that we have. So just something to think about. But we've got sound money for the digital age now. I mean, you can get into certain cryptocurrencies like Litecoin. It's on sale today, actually. And, you know, start exiting the system. Hey, my daughter calls them Stupido and Burrito. Stupido and Burrito. Yes, Stupidos. So they're getting anxious. Probably have to wrap this up. But I saw they're talking about drugs. The big news story today on one of the morning shows was drugs like Ozempic. They can, you know, they're weight loss drugs. Well, they might have these other effects to where It curbs alcoholism and the need to smoke and all these other things. And what was it? Somebody said, oh, it even makes me want to shop less. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Always something, to push more drugs and sell more drugs. And of course, when you look at it, it's unfounded. It might have been, very few tests. And I mean, it's just all theory. And so sponsored by the drug company, essentially, is what it seems like. But it's all, hey, take this and fix your problems. That's what it's all about. Take this and fix everything. Take this prick in the arm and you'll never get this again. When later on down the road, it finds out that, yeah, you kind of really did more damage than good. And a lot of these drugs, that's the case. Hey, what is it? You are the perfect drug. I don't want to sing it too much. Little 9 Inch Nails takes me back like 9 Inch Nails. All right. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Trust yourselves. Realize most of this is an illusion and it's all theater, and look at it as such. Don't put too much energy into it to where you think, oh my gosh, this is what's going to save America. No, you have to save America, and you have to do it at your local level. You have to do it at the individual level. That's really what it is. I mean, don't get overwhelmed. It's too easy to get overwhelmed and say, oh my gosh, we've got to get this guy in and put our energy behind this person, when he's not going to be able to fix anything. It makes small changes, whoever it is, but look at Biden. He's trying to destroy America, and it's doing a pretty good job of doing whatever he can, but he still can't do it, because ultimately it comes down to all of us. At some point, if we all say, not playing the game, not going to put on the uniform, not going to protect you anymore, not going to fuel up Air Force One, all the little things that all the people need to do. Hey, not going to lock the White House door tonight, and that U-Haul might just happen to, come flying in. Well, that was another thing. The U-Haul, this supposed white supremacist Nazi sympathizer, ain't even white. I mean, what kind of crap are they trying to pull on us at this point? That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But again, it's all theater. It's all a fraud. And step back, do what you can do in your individual life, take individual actions, because as a collective, if we all do that, the whole thing changes. The whole thing changes. You just don't give power, you don't give energy to these vampires. You take your money, take your wealth, take your energy, take everything out of that vampire system. Find ways to do that. Use that energy, what's left in it, because, I mean, it's dying. The dollars are dying. Federal Reserve notes are dying. Use them while you can to get the things you're going to need, because that's all money is. It's just a storage of your energy so that you can use it at a later date. That's all it is. And so it's got to be a good battery. It's got to hold that energy. The dollar bill doesn't hold that energy. It's lost almost 99% of its value since it's been created in 1913 by the Federal Reserve. I should say not dollars, Federal Reserve notes. They've lost value. They've just completely eroded, because you create more and more and more of them, so they're each worth less and less and less, worth less. So it's not a good battery. It leaks energy. So you can't save a $100 bill today and think you're going to have the same purchasing power in 5 years. Or even next year. It's just not going to happen. It's like 95 cents next year, $95 next year, because 5% inflation, that's what they say. Well, that $100 bill now, if you save it till next year at this time, 5% erosion, it's only going to buy $95 worth of stuff. So that's just how it works. That's the scam that you're living in. You realize that. And then if you've got your money tied up, you got your energy tied up into that system and those vampire casino chips and pensions and, other assets that are dollar denominated that don't have a real use case, I'd be taking a hard look at it and trying to get my energy into something that I can control, that's outside that system, because when that system collapses, those Federal Reserve notes collapse with it. Or when they decide to say, well, you got to turn them all in for this CBDC, this central bank digital currency. That's all digital, that we can track and trace everything you do. Tie it to your social credit score, because, if you don't do things right in public, and we're watching you everywhere you go, so we know, if you don't do things right, then, well, we might put some restrictions on that money or time limits on that money. I mean, the whole thing, it's just total control. You don't want to be in that system. You want to front load that, get out of it. If you're going to get into digital assets, because we're going digital, you want to get into some sound money for the digital age. I personally like Litecoin. A lot of fundamentals support that. I talk about them all the time. Go watch some other videos. Oh, here come the troll comments. Hey, guess what? Litecoin, it just works. Sound money for the digital age. Tough. Use it all the time. You know, if you don't, see, that's the thing. You don't like Litecoin, you probably don't use it. Because once you start using cryptocurrency for what it's meant for money, transfer of value, then pretty quickly you start saying, this thing's pretty slow. I don't like this. These fees are pretty high. I don't like this. Oh, this one works. Oh, and there's a fixed supply, and it's fast, and it's cheap, and it's got privacy. If you start using crypto, you find out what works, and you just start using it, okay? All right, so hope you have a wonderful day. I love you all. I really do. And don't let this theater mind warp you. That's all it's there for. It's theater. It's just mind control. Realize on a daily basis what you need to do, how you need to live your life, what you need, and get those things in your possession. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful day. Always trust yourself. Don't trust these vampires on that screen. Trust yourself.